the way, how are you enjoying Ellis Estates?
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
It felt like home like the first night we were here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I really, really, really like the new place. And then, you know, we haven't had a whole lot of time to unpack shit because we've just been moving stuff from the old house over here.
Yeah.
And, you know, then we went to Moab over the weekend and then had a carpet cleaner come Monday to the old house and, you know, just getting the last odds and ends there Tuesday and then dropped off the keys tonight. And yeah, so we haven't had a whole lot of time to unpack much of anything, but I like it.
Yeah.
And it was so nice. We go to Moab and of course the beds at the hotel are just, it felt like springs wrapped in a blanket. And then come back here on our nice, you know, iComfort bed and it's so much nicer.
By the way, we're recording right now.
Is that from an Apple product? The iComfort?
Well, it's the Serta iComfort. So it's like what's the other fucking memory foam beds that are
IntelliBed?
Yeah,
they're like a gel bed or something, aren't they?
Well, there's a different one that's a gel bed, but the IntelliBed is the memory foam stuff. But
Okay.
Have you ever priced those fucking things?
They're
From
expensive.
technology from NASA.
Jesus, those things are fucking crazy expensive.
Yep.
And
They're
you know,
hard to get off of too.
oh yeah,
I thought maybe it's just because my abs are so out of shape, but
And you're so
You
comfy,
sink-
you're just like, I
you
don't want
sink
to
into it, and
you
then
gotta,
it's just like
you gotta get the log roll thing down.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you gotta go side to side on those.
Yeah. But yeah, I love our bed. But the IntelliBed shit is fucking expensive. Like Tracy and I like to be, you know, kind of chilly when we're sleeping. So, you know, in the winter we've got a window in our bedroom open, or in the summer we've got an AC unit in the bedroom, fans going, all that kind of shit. And I saw a commercial for the IntelliBed shit that is like a thing that you put over any mattress. It doesn't matter if it's IntelliBed or whatever, and it has this airflow, and you can adjust the temperature up and down. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need that.
I should check out what the prices are on that. Fucking thing is like $2,000 just for
Holy
that
shit.
fucking thing to fit on a king size mattress. And then all of the reviews about it were just, this is bullshit. This thing doesn't work for anything. And so that's my little story about beds.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is the Godless Rebelution.
Hello, everybody.
This is not the bed review.
Hello, Salt Lake and rest of the world. Haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, you haven't. It's been,
and
it has
the thing
been a
is
while.
we actually literally are closer to Salt Lake now than we were before.
That's true.
We're actually in Salt Lake County.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, are you digging
The Murray.
Matt not having to drive quite as far?
Not today.
Well, yeah.
Fucking took me just as long. Traffic was horrible.
Stupid God botherers.
No,
Yeah.
but you know, there was no accident.
No?
It was just
Was there water on the road? Oh, that was my issue. It rained,
Was it
so
the
people hit
rain?
their brakes.
No, it might just be rush hour. I don't know if it's time, because before I would leave at 4:30 to get up to Clearfield and missed most of it until about North Salt Lake. That's when I'd hit traffic. But today it was bumper to bumper from AF to 7200 South, and I'm not used to that. So that was fucking sweet.
I work from home most of the time, so I don't have to deal with that much at all. And then even when I do go to work, I'm flowing the opposite way of the heaviest traffic.
Right. Well, and then part of it too is that, you know, most of my life is in Utah County, which has a significantly lower population. So the traffic I'm used to is not like that anyway.
Well, that's
so
what happens when everyone
it
has
just
10 kids.
might have just been rush hour. I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot shorter in mileage for sure.
Yeah.
Still about an hour 15 in the car.
Yeah. Really?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to get down here?
50 minutes.
50?
Yeah.
50?
Yeah. That's
About
probably
50
about right.
miles.
That's probably about right.
Is it really that far?
Yeah. I'm on the freeway. I'm usually doing 75 most of the way.
Yeah, shit, I guess that's about right because
Well, that would have been 60, right?
It's like right on.
Average
50
60, though. If it's 50 miles and it took you 50 minutes, that'd be an average 60, right? 60 miles an hour.
Well, it depends on when people hit their brakes because it started to rain and I have to stop and then they go again.
You run them over. Crush
50
your enemies,
it would
see them
be-
driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
What the? Is that a movie I haven't seen?
That's from Conan. Conan, what is best in
Oh,
life?
Schwarzenegger's Conan? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's before our time,
that's
Dan.
like the line
I've
from
seen
that
it.
movie.
I haven't even seen it.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
I just remember seeing that movie cover when I was about 7 and wondering if that was Schwarzenegger or Fabio.
Oh,
But I never saw it.
I've seen the Conan the Barbarian movies.
I think everybody has to watch at least the first one.
Yeah, it's been a while. When he's like the kid, and he's having to go and like do the horse work, and he's turning that mill around. He's getting big and strong, and then there he's like a grown up virgin. He's like, I'm strong because I do work of horse. I turn the mill by walking in circles all day.
That's how I developed this physique.
That's basically how they play it up in it. Is if I'm remembering the movie right, if I'm
He's
thinking
just
the
a
right
hard-working
movie,
motherfucker.
he's like the kid, and then he's working. He's doing the laps around the thing like the horse is supposed to do, driving the mill. At the very beginning of the movie, I thought. I could be wrong because you're looking at me like,
That sounds about right.
oh, okay.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a never while for
Yeah,
me.
so we won't trust Matt.
I wasn't going to respond. I just... What do we have today?
We have no guest
No
this
guest.
evening.
It's a hostful episode, as they call it.
Hostful.
Hostful episode.
Oh.
Just hosts.
But we were talking before the show and talking about maybe doing some back to a little bit of doing a subject for the actual each episode a little bit.
Instead of just tangents for
Yeah,
an hour?
well, I mean, it's going to turn into that eventually. we that's inevitable. It's how
You can't stop the rant.
that's how we work. But we figured we get a starting point to the rant, which
is that's difficult to do.
well, what about the fact that a lot of our trusty, loving GOP representatives want to get rid of us secularist people in the country and fire atheists from federal jobs?
Yeah. Do we have an example?
Oh, we got so many.
Yes.
Which examples do we have? I know at least one of them.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that they want to claim founding fathers for this and that, and then totally discredit them for any of the secular stuff that they want to get. It's a complete departure from all the secular stuff that the founding fathers were doing, and then want to rewrite history to say that, well, they believed in the same exact Christianity that we believe in now, which didn't even exist when the founding fathers were alive.
Yeah, they want to claim the founding fathers as their heroes while shitting on all of their secular ideals. I mean, the U.S. was established in large part as a direct consequence of wanting to get away from state-established religion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They were fleeing the Church of England and all of that fucking bullshit. That's what brought people here.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the big reasons why freedom of religion was put in the Constitution.
Well, now,
So you can't be forced to take part in religion.
well, right. But now they're trying to turn that so that freedom of religion
Doesn't mean freedom from.
freedom for my religion and nobody
Yes.
else.
Yeah, I heard
They want to, they want to say that atheists are trumping their freedom of religion and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard Rick Frothy Mixture talking on some radio program and saying that, he doesn't, that he knows that the rest of us secular people don't seem to understand that, freedom of religion means that, they should have the right to do whatever they want in the name of their religion, and that means that they're free to practice their religion when and wherever they want.
No.
God damn it, you can't stop them. And, he doesn't seem to understand that freedom of religion necessitates freedom from religion.
Requires it. It requires it.
You can't
cannot-
say that you have freedom of religion and then expect that, okay, well, Muslims or Satanists or Jews or Buddhists or Jains or whomever else is going to want to exert their religious authority over you. You can't say that you want freedom of religion and in the back of your mind believe that, there's only one religion. There's only Christianity, and that's it.
Well, not only that, but only a specific sect of the 41,000 different Christian sects.
Right.
Yes.
Just
Right.
that one. Just the church on my block.
Well, there was a case last week where Florida County Commissioner walked out while a pagan was doing the invocation. He said it was satanistic and it was devil worshiping. He actually says in the video, he goes, the reason why we have this prayer to open everything up is they are praying for us to make the right decisions. And I will not stand by and have a devil worshiper pray over me. And I'm like, it's kind of like, are you fucking serious, dude?
A devil worshiper?
For one thing, paganism is nothing near to devil worshiping.
No.
Well, they're not worshiping God, so it's got to be Satanism.
Oh, yeah.
Well, right.
It's like your religion, your holidays, everything that you celebrate has direct roots to paganism.
They're all pagan.
Well, that's the other thing, too. They always say, it goes against God. Well, which fucking God are you talking about?
Right.
You're talking specifically about the Christian God. If you want to say, that it is in support of God, then don't just say God. You have to qualify that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say it doesn't support your Christian God.
Right.
And not just your Christian God, but your version of the Christian God. Not the LDS version of the Christian God or any other religious entity. It's not the Muslim God. It's your whatever the fuck denomination you are of Christianity God.
Yes. Which, so Yom Kippur and Ramadan would be against their God.
Right.
One thing I've noticed, I don't know, I listen to Pete Holmes a lot, but one thing he's doing a lot lately, instead of saying oh my God or anything just that vague, he's saying, oh, sweet Mormon Jesus. He's been big on saying that lately, which I find hilarious. He likes to specify Mormon Jesus.
It's like
because even he grew up evangelical and recognizes there's a difference.
Yeah.
As much as Mormons want to claim Christianity, which they still can do, but there is a difference between their Jesus and
Did you guys happen to see that post that somebody made in Atheists of Utah earlier today? I think it was actually Connie who posted it out there. And it was it's a picture of, it looks like a pamphlet or flyer, basically telling people within this LDS ward how to best represent
I did see
LDS values and beliefs. And basically it all boiled down to, don't let them know you're a Mormon until they know you better. It's the whole, and Ashton pointed it out with the comment of, it's the milk before meat kind of presentation of LDS theology. Don't tell them any of the fucking crazy bits or how the LDS church strays from traditional or more mainstream Christian beliefs. Just tell them, all of the nice and fluffy shit about the church first.
Right.
And sorry, my phone keeps ringing.
Gotta suck them in.
I know. I just forgot my train of thought.
Well, I was going to say, you know what I've noticed?
Mine was derailed.
You know what I've noticed as kind of a sea change within a lot of the different religions within the past, 5 to 10 years is that they all now seem to have a unifying
Enemy?
thing, a common enemy,
which is
secularism or humanism or atheism. Before atheism and secularism and humanism was as prominent as it is today, you had all of these different religions fucking arguing with each other all the time. And now they'll still argue with each other a little bit, but they're much more focused on, beating up atheists and people who are not, quote unquote Christians.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what's wrong, why they are against people who are of a secular mindset or humanist mindset, because
we're working to protect their rights.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's the thing that people don't realize, or that they don't realize, is atheists aren't here to take away your rights. We're nothing. It's the exact opposite of the I guess mainstream atheist agenda isn't to take it away. It's to have equal representation for everyone.
I don't know how these people go through life as long as they have in such a prominent position and still have that false notion. Who still believe that atheists are trying to get rid of religion everywhere, and that we are forcing them to not be able to pray in school or practice their religion at their homes or in their churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, wherever. That's fucking bullshit. We just want you to keep it out of our fucking government. Don't force it on anybody else. If you do those two things, I don't have a fucking problem with it.
Yep.
You know, unless you're also harming people in the privacy of your own home, which is fucked up.
Or in the privacy of your own fucking church and
synagogue,
rectory.
Yeah. If any of that shit is going on. But I mean, if you want to just practice your religious beliefs as you understand them,
Are constitutionally allowed to?
yeah, I'm fine. I don't give a shit. If you want to waste your time praying to some fucking invisible sky wizard and hope for a gold mansion and, you know, after you die, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
So
don't try to force those beliefs on other people, and don't inject that shit into our fucking government.
right. So basically, the venomous message that the atheists have is, do it in private and stop fucking our kids.
Yeah. We're terrible, terrible people for
Yeah,
thinking that.
that's where we want to stop.
Talking about fucking kids.
Whoa.
Did you hear about that preacher that we talked about last week that the Vatican is now bringing up on charges? That they found
the
over,
Archbishop?
I think it said over 100,000 pornographic images of children and videos on his personal laptop.
Yep.
Over 100,000.
Yeah, and I know Bob was like, you know, if you tell me the Pope Fluffy's done something great or that, you know, he's worked to convict one of these guys, then I'll change my tune and say, yeah, he's a great guy. No, I still say fuck that.
Yeah, I agree.
He's still not a great guy. This is one fucking priest out of the thousands or tens of thousands who have molested hundreds of thousands of fucking kids. And it's because he was at the Vatican as an archbishop with hundreds of thousands of these videos and images.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And now, I don't know if I'm correct in thinking this, but the Pope can't, like, it's like a chain of command almost. You got your Pope, you got your archdiocese, and you got your regional directors in an area, then you got your actual, like,
Cardinals, and
then your, you know, little town preachers, and they're all assigned, you know, it's like
Those
a
would
chain
be-
of command
those
from
would
your
be
private
priests
to your
too, yeah.
commander. So the Pope can call back an archbishop or someone from the archdiocese, but he can't go to, like, Minnesota and call back some little old Joe that works.
Oh, I'm sure he could. He
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't directly do it. He wouldn't be the guy that actually fires him or whatever, but he would, you know, he'd tell
Like
that
that
guy
guy,
and say,
yeah.
You're done.
You're done.
You're
Yeah.
done. You're out.
Yeah.
And
He could clean house for sure.
Which is what he needs to do.
Well, and
it's what the church needs to do to get a better reputation out there. Saying they do need one, and they need to learn what's right.
Well, here's the thing, dude. If you have a kid, right, and the kid skips enough school, the parent can get in trouble for that. You know, because you're the responsible
You're the
person.
guardian.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so the Pope is probably more responsible for all these actions because these are adults doing this. But I mean, if you're taking my analogy, it's the same kind of situation. He absolutely should be responsible for this shit.
Oh yeah. And I thought when those papers that got leaked from the Vatican City, or the guy that got arrested with, you know, pulling him out, that was a big thing, was saying that Pope John Paul knew this was going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they all know, dude.
He knew.
Of course they do.
Well, he's
course they
deny.
Well, yeah.
But that right there, where you have physical proof saying he had direct knowledge of these bishops and priests and archdioceses that were molesting children, and there's proof that you moved them around the country, around the world, putting them in different, just changing their location so they wouldn't get arrested by local authorities. That right there should be enough for conviction.
Oh, yeah.
But Vatican City is exempt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue. Yeah,
Which is why
they have
he has
their own.
not left the gates since he's left office.
And he won't. He probably
He
won't.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Well, that-
Fucking
and that's-
leaks everywhere.
And that's the same. That's the same reason why George W. Bush hasn't left the United States.
I don't think you're supposed to lick that.
Well, you can. Your tongue might go a little numb.
Yeah. It's like licking clove oil.
Yeah, dude, is that still leaking, man?
Yeah, fucking everywhere. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would
thing.
just get a better tank, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Look at that.
Yeah,
I set it down for a second and
Holy
it leaves
shit.
that big
Yeah.
fucking glob of shit on the table.
yeah. It's the tank.
It says
bro.
right on the label, "Do not consume." I think.
Well,
Yeah, it does. But
Well,
But it's got a little
Live
kid though, so
dangerously.
I think it's just kids that can't consume it.
yeah, well, you
Oh, yeah, that's
you
a-
can
there's a
OD
bunch
on
in there,
nicotine.
man.
Yeah, fuck that tank.
yeah, I would just get a better tank, man. Yeah. You know, it's a good one that's just about this size. The Mini Pro Tank 3.
Yeah, we're talking
Well,
about vaping.
Maybe you don't want that. That's a double. That's a dual.
I bought a
coil.
new tank today and it's a fucking piece of shit leaking all over the place.
Now he's just licking it.
It's too bad. That's some good juice in there.
Well, you can still get. Anyway, back
I
to
have a vaping syringe, Like comes for filling up your catamizers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you have extra juice left in there, you stick it in there. You can suck all the extra juice out.
Oh. Well, but it's cheap. I mean, I got the big bottle of it, so
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I'll just get another tank.
All right.
Maybe I'll get a whole new rig, a fancy new rig like you fellers. Ryan's rocket ship or Matt's red rocket.
I know. I was making
Red
fun
rocket.
of it. I wish it was that long. I was doing this the other day, then I'm like shooting it up.
And nobody knows what's
The vaping
going on.
sound. No, these are all great podcasts.
Great
visual.
They're using their horrible, dirty imaginations to figure out what just happened about Red Rocket and Matt saying it's not this big.
Yeah, more accurate might be a little pink crayon.
Oh, is the paper stripped away or is it
Yeah,
worn down
yeah,
to a
it
nub
is.
and the paper's still there?
Yeah, there's a little mark where the glue was.
Nice. So we touched on, or I mentioned or called out fucking frothy mixture as being one of the examples of prominent people speaking out against secularism.
That would be Perry, I guess. Yeah.
Well, Perry has done it. The other shining example that springs to my mind is Fuckabee.
Or Huckabee.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That guy, he might have. Well, I don't know why he doesn't just fucking start his own megachurch. Get out of politics. Just start your own fucking megachurch, dude. You'd make a whole lot more money.
Yep.
Make a whole lot more money, and I would be
Happier.
I would be much less unhappy with you.
Sure. Well,
So-
I mean, guys like Joel Osteen and stuff. I mean, I have problems with the money they make and the taxes they don't pay. But other than that, his message is pretty much, I mean, it's the same every week. And it's
fairly benign.
There's nothing really too
But some of those
problematic
preachers,
about
I mean, they don't come across the good message. That's where I see the danger with some of them. They come across a message saying, "You are worthless. You are nothing. You must do this
sure,
to
that's
become a good
that's
person."
religion. But
If you're a woman, you're a penis home.
Yeah,
but
there's
that's
some
religion,
religions-
of course. But I'm just saying he's not in politics. He's not
No.
trying to say, atheist this and that. He just does his own thing and makes his own cheapskate money with his snake oil and all that. Like, I don't like that, but at least he's not actively pushing.
Yeah, he's not trying to inject that shit into
Yeah.
politics
That's all
and
I'm
into
saying.
government.
But I think that's where sometimes I think religion is personally harmful.
Yeah, of
where
course.
you get people that get that notion in their head where I am not good without this. What have I done wrong? Where I'm not appeasing this God. What have I done wrong? Well, I can't be perfect, so I'm just going to end my life. Where you get people that have that going on. That's where I think, and these people have a false notion of something, and that's their only reason for thinking they have a horrible life and they want to, commit suicide.
Well,
Where it's no,
they've
are
been-
a good person. Just
They've been made a bunch of empty promises that went unfulfilled. The person who's made the promises just said, well, apparently you're not Christing right.
Yeah, right. Or maybe a more typical example would be like Sunday I went to my girlfriend's parents for dinner, and they're pretty Mormon. Well, her mom and stepdad, I should say. But anyway, it was Danielle and I, and then her mother, and then Danielle's two sisters, and then one of her brothers with his girlfriend. And then her brother and his girlfriend were having some conversation about feminism or something. And, are you a feminist? And she was like reluctant to say anything,
Why would I stand up for my own gender? That's terrible.
Well, right. But so
why would I want to be treated equally and have same pay for the same work?
Right. So, I'm doing stuff around there, or whatever. And she's like, she was like, I don't know. Well, I mean, but how am I supposed to respond to that? And so I said, say yes. I'm a feminist too. Right. And so Danielle's mom, who's really Mormon, was kind of fuming a little bit, and she's very even tempered and is so super cool and all that stuff. But she was getting upset, and I didn't know that, but by her body language. And then there's a couple other things, and then she piped up and she's like, "Yeah, well, I just hate all this. Like, women are not men, okay?" And I'm like, "Okay, so my response was, yeah, but they still should make the same pay for the same work. That's what I'm talking about. That's baloney,
They should have right over their own body.
Yeah, but that's the example I'm talking about. That's a little more subtle. I mean, we might not be talking about suicide, but the negative effects of religion.
Yes.
That's a perfect example.
Well, yeah, there was that blog post that I saw, and I think we might have mentioned it even during the podcast last week, where it was this woman who had left the Quiverful movement.
Yeah.
And, she went through all the different types of abuse, the mental abuse, the physical abuse.
Right.
And for every type of abuse against every type of person, whether it was her or her children or other people, there was always a religious justification that made it go away. So it didn't seem like abuse. It was just God's plan. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not abuse. That's godly. And if it's godly, it has to be good. And, once she was able to kind of disconnect and get away from that and think about it more rationally and see a therapist and have the therapist tell her, no, this is abuse and here's why, then, the curtains were lifted and she was able to see, that it was all abuse and that she'd been leading a pretty shitty life.
Yeah.
I think that's what the big thing between, they talk about secularism being this bad thing. They want to get rid of it and stuff, or make it like I can't remember who said they wanted to make it a religion, so that secularism would be outlawed.
Was that Huckabee or who?
That wasn't Huckabee. That was someone else.
That wasn't Santorum.
It might have been Santorum that said that one. It was Santorum that said he wanted secularism to be treated as a religion.
Well, and he's a Catholic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So fuck
super
him, then.
Catholic. He's not just a holiday or Sunday.
No. He's not a CEO.
Yeah, he's a Catholic.
Yeah. Well, fuck him then.
He's old school. Like, of course, abortion is bad, but fucking birth control is bad.
Yeah.
According to him.
Yeah. But that's us going towards the theocratic society with our politicians. There's one guy I listened to on a thing today where his name's like Charles Perry of Texas.
Charles Perry.
I'm bringing it up right now.
God, I hate to think of the day when do we want Santorum, where jacking off is illegal, but fucking raping babies is fine? Fuck that shit.
New Texas State Senator Charles Perry. He took his inauguration speech, and he's the one that said secularism is like Nazis putting bullets through the throats of Jews during the Holocaust.
God.
And he brings up a story about how during the Holocaust, these 10,000...
Godwin's law.
Yeah.
It's Godwin's law right off the bat.
Yeah, here it is right there. It says, there were 10,000 people that were paraded into a medical office under the guise of a psychic, Perry explained. As they stood there with their backs against the wall, they were executed with bolts through their throats. Before they left, there was 10,000 that met their fate. And he's saying that this is what we do. And I'm like, secularism is not the same thing as...
When was the last time you had a group of atheists or humanists who, in the name of atheism or humanism or secularism, decided that they were going to commit genocide or wipe out tens of thousands of people?
Can't think of one.
It's already an invalid argument.
Yeah.
Based on in the name of atheism, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
But his thing
you have to add something else.
His thing is more along the lines of saying, well, if we become a secular society, we're all like doomed. They're going to take us and kill us because we don't believe the same thing. Like, that's what secular means.
Yeah.
All encompassing.
Well, okay, so how many people have been killed in the name of one god over another?
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
I mean,
major wars. But
any major war. You know what I mean? So secularism is worse than that.
But when he was giving his acceptance or his speech after he swore in, did his whole swearing, he was giving a speech, and he was basically talking about how he wants to represent from the Bible. Like, and people are cheering and hooting and hollering like, we love you. You're gonna take and bring Christianity back to this country and stuff. Like, like, I want to punch you. Like, that oath you just took said you will uphold the Constitution of the United States and this state.
Yeah, those poor persecuted Christians who have federally recognized holidays that we all have to participate in.
Yeah, and they have no tax. They have no taxes on their churches.
Yep.
You know, all that. Yeah, fuck.
And
that
they
shit.
say that isn't that
Their
was it,
clergy can live in homes tax-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rape our kids.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep
Police
going
free.
back to it. I'm gonna keep fucking doing it until you stop.
It was the evangelical Christians that said they were the most persecuted in the United States, wasn't it?
Yeah, fuck
Like,
those guys.
How? And I'd actually seen a meme the other day where
I
it was,
can't go around spouting ridiculous
Yeah.
bullshit out of my cake hole all the time without somebody telling me that I'm spouting ridiculous bullshit out of my cake hole.
Yeah,
I'm persecuted.
Yeah.
Meh.
yeah.
I
Well,
do
that's exactly what I say. That's
I
the
do
reason
have a
why
few-
it's impolite to talk about religion. You force people to say embarrassing shit.
I do have a few friends on Facebook who are rather conservative.
Okay.
I do stay. Well, I mean, some of them I go like they're just people I know.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I just,
no, it's fine.
I bat an eye at it. But one of the guys the other day had something posted up where it said, "My kid will not take this anymore. We want him to be allowed to say have God in the
One
Pledge of
nation
Allegiance.
under God.
One
Yeah.
nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance." And I'm reading the comments like, "Yeah, stand up for it. You know, yeah, they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be taking it out." It's like they haven't.
No,
Yeah.
It's still in it.
and they should never
The
have
only-
added it.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't
The
it
The
wasn't
only
there
people
originally.
who are fighting it right now are the ones who don't want to say the whole thing, period, because that and other things.
Yeah,
The ones that are sitting down
for
and
other
being
reasons.
expelled
Yeah.
from school, they're the ones that are being persecuted. Your child has every right to stand up, say the Pledge of Allegiance
Yep.
as it is now written. I honestly think we should go back to the way it was
even
pre-1954.
even if we took it out, your child would still have the right to
Yes.
add it himself or
Yeah.
herself,
Or not say it at
or not
all.
say it at all. But I'm just saying,
And this is coming from
I'm
someone
just
who's
saying.
a veteran, and I'm like, if you don't want to say it, that is your fucking right
Yeah.
not to say it. You are not disrespecting anyone.
No,
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of a little skit where, you know, they're always like, we want to take our country back. We want to take it back to a better time. The 50s were awesome, blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking, you know, we could have somebody at a pulpit or a dais and, you know, whipping up the masses and saying, we need to take our country back. And the crowd yells, yeah, we need to take our country back to a time when things were wonderful. The 50s. And everybody says, yeah. And then somebody says, yeah, like 1952 before In God We Trust was on our money. And,
Yeah.
and Under God was in the pledge. And everybody goes, ah.
Wait.
yeah. Well, the other funny thing about that just occurred to me is, you know, when you go back to the 50s, well, who had complete domination of everything? Rich white Christian men.
Well, there was a red scare going on.
Yeah, and who's the group that wants to return to the 50s? Rich white Christian men.
When we controlled everything.
Yeah, they don't want minorities, they don't want women, they don't want homosexuals, they don't want atheists, they don't want anything but rich white Christian men.
I saw,
And I say it's about time that they have something to say in this world. Their voice needs to be heard for once.
I did read an article the other day where some two white rich brothers might have gotten caught.
Which ones?
What do you mean?
They might be the Koch brothers.
Koch
brothers?
The Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers, yeah.
One of the companies that they run, apparently, one of the groups they run that puts out voter registration information, apparently put out all false information. Wrong dates to register, wrong place to register at, messing up, putting a false zip code on the thing to send back in so it won't ever make it, so you couldn't actually vote. Like,
There's no way that's really gonna matter in the long scheme of things. I mean, those guys are so fucking rich, dude.
they are rich, but they might actually, for once, have their name directly tied to voter fraud.
Yeah, well,
Which is funny because they're part of that cabal.
They're part of the we do nothing but voter fraud.
Who thinks that, you know, everybody else is committing voter fraud or wants everybody to believe that everybody else is committing
That's what
voter
it
fraud,
is.
so that you then have to have, you know, a government issued picture ID in order to go in and vote. They want to limit the times that people can vote, the days that they can vote, the locations
Yeah.
where they can vote.
I went off on a buddy about that one day. Then I'm like, well, he asked me, well, what's the real number? What's the real number? I'm like, I don't know. I got to go research it. I'll go look it up. I'll go find it. I think it said that from 1995 or something, in-person voter fraud was committed 12 times. 12 times in a matter of 10 years.
Yeah.
In-person voter fraud, which is what this spending thousands of dollars to have this voter ID thing would stop. Then he also said, well, it's only Democrats that have voter fraud. I'm like, well, actually, there's a guy in Wisconsin that had the most prolific voter fraud thing where he voted 12 times for a Republican named Walker.
Yep.
It's like, it's not a one-party thing. Even though people are like, no, it's only Democrats that do voter fraud. It's only Democrats. It's always the same party that has it. I'm like, yeah, it's the Republicans.
You know why they say that? It's because of those dark people. Those dark people are the ones who are voting for the Democrats. You know, the blacks and the Asians and the Mexicans.
I'm pretty white, and I vote Democrat.
All of the other brown people are the ones who vote for the Democrats, and you know you can't trust those people. You know they're playing hijinks.
And when you bring up constitutional
They're
law
shenanigans
about it, and they're like, well, it's stupid. Don't you need a driver's license to cash a check? I'm like, no. Guess who doesn't have a driver's license or didn't have a driver's license until 2 years ago? My sister.
Yeah.
She had no form of ID besides her college. She'd never had a problem cashing a check.
Yeah.
Nothing. Never had a problem opening a bank account because guess what? You don't need an ID.
Yeah, my
driver's license
ex-mother-in-law
to open one.
My ex-mother-in-law is very old school, right? So I mean, she never even fucking learned how to drive. You know, my ex-father-in-law drove her everywhere, would do everything. He paid the bills. He did everything. She had no driver's license. She had no ID. I think she may have had a passport and her birth certificate. But I mean, I mean, nothing. And her passport, I'm sure, had expired decades ago. And yeah, so she would have been excluded. And she's not brown.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you that.
But I mean, that's the thing is because it's poll tax. Poll tax was deemed to be illegal. It's illegal to have to spend any money to have to vote. You should be able to vote 100% free.
If you're a citizen, yeah.
If you're a citizen of the country, it should not cost you a penny to vote. So if you have to go and get a form of ID before you have to vote, that means you have to spend money just for the purpose of vote.
Yep.
Now, if you got that ID
Interesting
for driving,
point. Yeah.
No, you drive a car. Yes, you need a driver's license. Okay, you have a photo ID. But if you don't have a car and have no need for a photo ID, and they tell you need one to vote, that is forcing someone to spend money on an ID just so they can vote, which is wrong.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's bullshit that they keep trying to put all of these different restrictions in place.
Yeah.
And they're doing it because they want to reduce voter turnout.
Yeah, what they want is rich, white, Christian men to be the only ones to turn up.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
It's like changing your districts around so you know you can focus more conservative voters into your district. So it's gerrymandering.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to reduce voter turnout, and they'll do it by whatever means they can.
Yeah.
We have a stray boxer in the studio.
He's a nice boxer.
I think he's going deaf, dude. I came home today from work, and he must have heard me do something when I arrived home because he started barking. But then he's standing there in the fucking front entryway, and he's staring at the front door, and I come in through the garage door, and that door slams, and I go in the kitchen, I set my bag down, I'm making all kinds of noise, and he's still just staring at the front door. I walk up next to him, and I walk right up next to him, and it wasn't until I go to pass him a little bit to where he can see me, and he jumped what the fuck was that? I'm like, I think my dog is going deaf.
How old is he?
He's 12 now. And then Tracy said that he was out on the...
He's a sweetie, though, man.
Oh, yeah, he's a great dog. I love him to bits. Yeah. But Tracy said that he was out here on the patio that we've got. And it was, at dusk. And he was at one end of the patio. And she was calling for him to come in, calling, whistling. He didn't respond. So she finally walked from the back door over to the stairs for the patio. And, climbed up a couple of the stairs so she could look up there and see him. And she said, and he got down all aggressive and started growling who the fuck is that?
Maybe he's
it was a little menacing. He couldn't see me very well. He didn't hear me calling, and then he couldn't see very well who was standing there at the stairs.
Maybe he's just getting old and grumpy. He's not going to have masters anymore. Fuck
you guys. I'm sitting here on the porch
to your
and you're
calls
fucking
forever.
with me. Go away.
I'm good just where I am.
You guys want to play a game? I don't have a lot tonight, but
sure.
Play one game or
sure.
two. I got a couple who said it's.
We can play gamesies.
It's going to be
I got your pen so you don't mess up the score again.
Well, this was only 2 noodles worth. So,
Oh, so it's
but ever
easy.
since then,
You can
yeah,
still mess that up.
I probably could. Yeah, that's true. Ever since that one game when I was so horribly off.
I think I knew you were off, but I just let you because you're giving me noodles when I didn't deserve them.
Well, either way, you were. Actually,
so I didn't fucking know either.
I was actually not giving them to Dan when he should have gotten them. So he
Was that what it was?
Yeah, yeah. He should have been up 5-0, and I just kept being like, "So is that 2?"
So it's 2?
And everyone was like, "Yeah, that's fine." But
That sounds good to me. If I can,
yeah, that was terrible. Okay,
yes,
who should we start with? Ryan.
sure.
This one's going to be an
Playing with his
interesting
rocket
one.
ship.
3 clues, 1 accomplishment, achievement, work.
What? This guy's lazy.
I think you'll disagree.
Oh.
The quote is, "If you're worried about falling off the bike, you'll never get on." 3 clues.
You're worried about falling off the bike. You'll never get on.
I
Well,
don't know who that is, just based on the quote. I don't even know if I've probably heard the quote. I don't know.
It sounds like Einstein to me. But I'll take 3.
It's a good bid. What do you say, Dan?
Okay, name it for 3.
Oh, fuckers.
Well, if I had to guess, I would say Ryan will get a noodle here.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Clue 1, born September 18th, 1971. Clue 2, spouse, Kristen Richard, divorced 2003. Partner now, Anna Hansen. Clue 3, steroids.
Neither of those names is familiar. to me.
Steroids and testicular cancer.
Oh.
Armstrong.
It is Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
That's correct.
Off the bike. He's a racer.
Yes.
Yay!
That is correct. Noodles for
And
Ryan.
he ain't got no balls.
He's got
Well,
one,
I think he has.
He's got
one
okay. He's
still.
got one left.
and
yeah.
he's not lazy. I think you'd probably. Would you take that back? I think
I don't know. He had to take the roids to do the good.
Everybody,
take
roids.
everybody was on him.
He blood doped.
He
It's just different than
he
roids.
still worked as
Everyone did them, and he still was way ahead of everybody else.
Because he didn't actually take
There's
steroids.
no way you think he's lazy,
and he's still
though.
trained like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, dude.
I got a funny story about him.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't directly involve me. It involves a friend who gets in a lot of drunk fights.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, he was in Park City, and so was Lance Armstrong. And he looked over and recognized Lance Armstrong. He's like,
Hey, fuck you.
"Yeah, that's basically what he did." He was drunk, right? He's like, "I could beat your fucking ass."
Oh jeez.
Think you're so tough? You ride a goddamn bicycle?
Basically, and I guess everybody's like, "That's Lance Armstrong." He's like, "I fucking know. I could beat that pussy's ass."
Bring it on, you
Like,
one
fucking
nut
beat him
wonder.
up. He said that's when about 2 really big guys from Lance Armstrong's table stood up, and
course.
Lance Armstrong just sat there. He's like,
Never mind.
"I'm done arguing."
I was just kidding around, guys. Come on,
you win.
gosh.
Wow.
This guy, he's a pretty big dude himself that I wouldn't want to. I was punched by him once, and it hurt really bad.
Why did he punch you?
Back when I used to smoke in the military, I was trying to quit on a deployment, and I told him, "If you see me smoking, just hit me." Well, I was sneaking a cigarette in when I was supposed to be quitting, and he saw me. He's like, "You said to hit you," and he came up and just hit me right across the side of the face,
Jesus.
like temple, like knocked my glasses off my face, knocked my head around, like seeing stars, and like. Wow, when I said hit, I figured like open hand slap across the face,
This
not
guy
a full,
sounds like an asshole.
Or in the
Close.
shoulder or something.
And he comes to me and goes, "Dude, sorry, but you told me to do it." Said, "Quit smoking. If I see you smoking again, I'll punch you again."
Yeah. Sorry, you told me to hit you. I had no control in the matter.
He doesn't fight as much anymore. He used to be one of those guys that you'd be at the bar drinking, you'd be drunk, like, "Let's go into the bathroom, punch for punch," and just start wailing on each other's face. He's had his nose readjusted about 3 times.
He sounds like a real asshole.
He's actually a really nice guy. It's just-
Something wrong with him is what it
he
sounds
doesn't.
like.
Last time I was hanging out with him, he's like, "Man, I don't fight anymore. I spent too much money to get my teeth and nose fixed."
Yeah, that's a good reason to quit fighting, I guess.
Yeah, fuck all the harm I did to anybody else.
Oh no, it was usually with the person fighting. It was a mutual thing. Like, "Hey, we're gonna fight. Cool, let's do it."
So he just found other fucking crazy nuts like
Oh yeah, the guys that I worked with. They came to work one day. One guy had 2 guys with broken noses, both their like eyes split open, bruised faces, and like, "Yeah, we're punching each other." They would do it to themselves. It's
First rule of
military,
Fireman Club.
or just military firefighters get drunk and you do really, really stupid things.
I can't say that I've never done stupid shit with my friends in the past. So
Sure.
we used to play First. I don't even know if it's a game that anybody else really plays, but we'd sit around and drink beer until we were fucking drunk as hell. And then if you burped or farted or anybody else burped or farted, the last person to say first, everybody would line up and punch them in the arm.
Oh,
That's weird.
And one night, my buddy Frank ended up going to the hospital with a subdural hematoma. His arm from shoulder to elbow was black.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, so yeah, I've done stupid shit.
you probably can't. They can't see it at home right now, but you probably see that little mark on my arm right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a bunch of drunk firefighters who decided to take a coat hanger, and we decided to brand ourselves. One guy went to the ER with blood poisoning.
Oh, jeez.
What were you going for?
We were drunk.
I mean,
It kind of
It
looks like a
started off
circle.
on this arm, as I point to my other forearm. Oh, then it went to the hand. It didn't stop at one. We were drinking Everclear, so you know how that goes.
Not
what's the
really.
shape? I'm wondering. I mean, it looks.
It was the hot iron poker out of the fire.
Mm-hmm. You didn't. Just.
It was like a coat hanger and like I don't know.
But there was no. They weren't trying to go for any design
we probably
or shape.
were,
it was
but
just
we were
any
so
general.
drunk it didn't make sense to begin with.
Because it just looks like kind of a circle.
Oh no, it was the skin melted off.
Mm-hmm.
It was severely
Yum.
third degree burned. Like it turned black. And
How'd that
pussed
smell?
and-
Pretty good.
like burning flesh.
Like hair. Yeah. Yeah.
Charred flesh.
Charred flesh. Yeah. It was at a barbecue, so it was kosher.
So it was
didn't really
kosher.
notice.
I don't think that's kosher, but
That's not how kosher works.
I don't. I've never been to the Middle
Anything
East,
at a
but I'm
anything
guessing.
that happens at a barbecue is kosher. That's how they make the pickles.
Yeah.
I thought barbecues were kosher. Yeah, that's just how it works.
Did you guys see what my son did with the little
Yes, the wrath.
with the little stencil lettering or the vinyl lettering on the wall?
No, I didn't see that.
So, in the formal dining room there, where we've got the formal dining room on the wall, it had that fucking Mormon saying, may this home be blessed with the laughter of children and the warmth of family and the whatever fucking memories and shit.
Yeah.
It was one of those happy Mormon cutesy things that was on the wall. And while we were in Moab, my son stayed here to watch the dog. Thank you very much, Gray, for doing that. I really appreciate it. And he likes to pull little pranks, like little subtle pranks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to troll people.
Yeah.
And so he rearranged, he took the word warmth and took the M off and then rearranged the R and the A. So now it says, may this home be blessed with the laughter of children, the wrath of family.
Nice.
I was kind of wondering how he did, because I read it and I'm like, that looks like it. I'm like, wait, did it say wrath before? Like, that don't sound too
The
Mormon-y to
wrath
me.
of family.
That's funny.
Yeah, here's the guy that likes to get in fights and has had his face broken several times and has had cosmetic surgery.
Oh, he doesn't look like an asshole.
I know he doesn't. He's a nice guy. He's not. I mean,
I was picturing some giant redneck dude
no, he's
with a mullet.
born and raised here in Utah.
With a mullet and a fucking Confederate flag trucker hat.
That's why I figured. I'm like, if you saw him on the streets, you just think, oh, it's just a normal guy. But no, this guy likes to go in the bathrooms and fight people. He goes into the
weird
bathrooms
that he
so the
would go in the
bouncers won't kick you out.
You could leave the bar.
Yeah.
But then you gotta like,
Then it can be illegal too, I guess. But
I don't know, because
Yeah,
he
who
likes
knows?
their thing was going punch for punch. So you hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you. First one to quit loses.
It just seems
that's so weird.
It's bizarre.
man.
Yeah, it's if you've never
Can't we just arm wrestle or tickle each other instead?
around a bunch of in the military where everyone's got an A type personality. I guess you just gotta
You get used to that kind of shit?
yeah, it's kind of normal sometimes. Like, oh, they're fighting again. Like, oh, look, everybody's outside throwing axes at a wall for fun.
I would do that.
Yeah, I would do that too.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
We used
it
to
does.
do that. Like on deployments, we'd be bored. We'd set up planks of wood and like, I got throwing stars I made in the shop today, or I got axes and whatever. Like,
Oh, fuck yeah, I'd do that all
That's
day.
cool as shit, dude. Yeah.
and then it turns into who can do it from the furthest back. So now you got a guy trying to throw a fucking axe 20 yards or 30 yards or 40 yards. And it's, you don't want to be anywhere near that action.
Yeah.
I would do that. That sounds fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's better than getting fucking blasted in the face
Punched, he means.
with a fist.
Punch in the face. Yes, there we go.
You never heard that term before?
I've heard blasted in the face, but it has another connotation to it.
What?
Usually, it usually has to deal with vivid,
Oh, God.
And
vivid
ejaculate.
studios and money shots.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you forever.
That's why we had an awkward silence there when you said blasted in the face.
Yeah, it was super
Better than getting
awkward.
blasted in the face. Well, I would agree.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Well, it's still better than that. You guys didn't have to be. Fuck you forever.
I would rather take a punch in the face than get blasted in the face any day.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think so.
I'm just, yeah.
I guess it depends on who.
The logistics.
For both.
Yeah.
If it's Mike Tyson or Ryan Gosling, I would rather get blasted by Ryan Gosling than Mike Tyson.
No.
What if you're getting blasted by Mike Tyson or punched by Ryan Gosling?
I'd still take Ryan.
You
I would get blasted by Ryan either way.
This is like that.
I don't care which way it is. I would rather have his semen dripping down my nose than get hit by Mike Tyson.
No. But what if he's the one hitting
Punching
you with
me?
it? Yeah.
I would rather have him try to punch me than take
thinking he can
Tyson's
hit
semen
pretty
to my
good.
face.
He's pretty ripped. I would bet he.
I saw him in the
I'll
Notebook.
bet he could throw a punch.
Yeah, but you're talking about Tyson's sperm on your face, dude. I'd rather get hit by Ryan Gosling.
Then have Tyson's sperm on your face?
Yes, I would.
So you would rather have Ryan Gosling's sperm or
you would
fist
rather
in your-
have Gosling's sperm on your face
Yes.
than to be hit by Mike Tyson?
Yes.
I would have to agree with that one.
Yeah,
probably.
dude. Easily.
Here's my thing: if Mike Tyson hits you in the face, you won't know.
Yeah, you will.
You'll wake up in
Not
the
for
hospital and be
very
like,
long,
"What
yeah.
the fuck?"
Yeah,
happened
you'll
to me?
be you'll
You
know
won't
it.
remember it.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it's either
That
a
image of Ryan Gosling's.
it's either a 3-day
Yeah.
3-day trip to the hospital and then 2 weeks of recovery or a paper towel. You know?
In years of sitting in the shower crying.
No. Not for me. I broke the Kinsey
The
scale.
emotional and mental scars will run deep.
No, I broke the Kinsey scale. I'm fine with that. That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's true. The Kinsey scale
that
doesn't
would-
know
that
what
would
is
not-
up with Matt.
That would not
Fuck
be
it.
an issue.
I would rather have buckets of cum dumped on me than.
Oh, speaking of buckets,
Okay, that's an interesting segue.
Buckets or buckets of cum?
so you've all seen the
By the
bucket
way,
challenge.
I haven't. I didn't say that I would rather have that.
challenge?
the bucket ice bucket
The ice
challenge.
bucket challenge.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
Did you see the new thing going around? Well, I haven't seen it going around besides one lady that did it. That old.
It doesn't sound like that's really going around.
No, but it was the old white lady sitting there with her American flag, her Bible, and a 45 saying,
Oh.
everybody needs to take the American challenge for true patriots. It's like,
no thanks.
Then I saw a rebuttal to the other one with that chick that was standing outside with her Bible, her AR, and her American flag. The guy's got his, like,
Telescope.
a telescope. He's got, like, a science
bunch of
book.
books. No, he has
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
books.
I can't remember what his shirt said. He had a shirt that said something on it, but I'm like, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, and also that picture looks exactly like one that's been going around about the
suicide
AK-47
bomber. Yeah.
and the Quran and the
And she's got a
fucking-
vest
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, for
Fuck
people
that.
to go, well, in order for you to be a true red-blooded American, you need to have yourself an American flag. You need to have yourself a Bible. You got to have yourself a Colt 45. I don't mean the beer.
you're right. Maybe both.
The beer's not very good.
No, it's not. It's horrible.
Well, if you're a true red-blooded American, you're going to have yourself a Budweiser,
Budweiser.
Colt 45.
I've never been a big fan of the malt liquors.
No.
That's why,
OE and Colt 45.
well, the Colt 45 is going to be the pistol this time again.
St.
But
Ides.
Yeah, the St. Ides and the...
Yeah.
No, none of that shit.
First thing I ever drank was St. Ides.
Anytime I'd go to get a 40, we could never find a 40. It was always a 36.
Yeah.
And it was always fucking the champagne of beers, Miller High Life.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
That's big in Wisconsin, though.
Miller is? Yeah, I guess so.
Fuck yeah, it's the champagne of beers, man.
Not Leinenkugel's up there?
Dude, I love Liney's. I've been to the factory.
Yeah, Leinenkugel's good.
I got some Leinenkugel's fishing lures.
Chippewa Falls, man.
Yeah. You read the bottle, didn't you?
I sure did. I drank a lot of that stuff.
I've had
But they
occasion
only
to
have-
study the label a time or two.
But that's the shitty Utah we got here. They only have one kind of their like 20 beers come here.
Tell you what,
The
though.
summer shandy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
that's it.
Well,
It's
they
not
have
even their best
They have the
beer.
orange shandy too, though,
not
which
even
for the
their best.
fall.
I like the orange.
Orange is good, but you can't
They
either
make
of
an
those.
awesome red, a nice honey beer, an awesome wheat beer. They make
Oh,
a lot
really?
of really good beers. They make lagers. They make.
They don't make just the shandies?
No,
You can't-
like their
you can't-
bottom line. That's ones that they sold to Budweiser to sell.
I was
Oh,
going
right,
to say,
right.
didn't they just get bought out by someone?
Yeah, they sold that line to Budweiser.
To
They still sell.
Anheuser-Busch, yeah.
You can only get the good stuff in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Well,
You can't leave
Budweiser.
those cans though. Like if you get summer orange shandy, you can't forget about a can and leave it in a room somewhere. Fruit flies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bad.
Well, Budweiser's not even an American company anymore. They're a German company.
Yeah, they got
Are
sold.
they really?
De Germans.
The Germans bought them. They bought Pabst, and yeah, Pabst just got sold last week.
Why?
Really?
Pabst Blue Ribbon got sold last week to the same German company.
Why?
Not even it was it?
I
No,
blame
it was
the
Russian.
hipsters.
It was a Russian company that
A
bought Pabst.
Russian company
A
bought
Russian
Pabst?
company bought Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Commie bastards.
I know.
Why are they buying them?
To make money in Pabst
Because of all the fucking hipsters, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, with all the hipsters and stuff, when I saw the selling price for Pabst, it went for like 80 million, and I'm like, that's it.
That doesn't seem like very much.
No. And it was the second time Pabst been sold in the past like 5 years. Pabst ain't worth a lot.
Well,
I thought they'd be worth a lot more with all the advertising,
80 million.
It is
was-
a blue ribbon beer.
which isn't even a real thing. Did you know that the Blue Ribbon is a fake award? Of
course.
Yeah, they gave it to themselves. It's not even a real thing.
Mom said that I needed to treat myself special.
I'm going
Dude,
to make an award.
I've said that for years. If I owned a company and I had a little sign out front, I would say voted #1 in Utah. I would put that up every fucking month because I fucking voted it #1
yeah.
Yes.
every month. Like,
It's
why
like-
doesn't every company do that?
It's like an elf when he when he walks past the coffee stand. He's like, "Congratulations, you did it! World's best cup of coffee!
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's awesome!
right.
Good for you."
I actually wanted to try the world's best beer. Like 2 years ago, there's a German beer, something that's been voted like internationally world's best so many times, and they were selling.
What kind of beer is it?
I can't remember what it was right now. I remember finding it online and seeing it. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, hey, there's a place in New York that is selling a limited stock of it right now. Like the first, until it was gone, and it was gone. I'm like, and it's in stock right now. I'm like, I want to buy some, and I'm gonna have it sent to my house. I go on there, I go through the thing, go through the checkout. Will not ship to Utah. I'm like,
Yep.
what the fuck? Then I had to look it up.
Really?
Utah is the only state in the United States of America that you cannot have alcohol shipped to your door.
It's the only state.
Some places choose not to ship to Alaska and Hawaii, but some places said they will not ship to Hawaii because they can't guarantee the shipment.
Yeah,
In Alaska, because Alaska's too fucking expensive.
fucking far away.
And that's the thing is a lot of people are like, hey, if we ship it to you, it's shipped in 24 hours. We can't ship to Alaska and Hawaii in 24 hours, so they don't ship there. For a lot of these companies I was looking at.
So Utah really is the only
The
state.
only state. You can live in a dry county in Alabama and probably still get alcohol shipped to your door.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Utah was
It's
the only state.
only state.
I mean, I knew that we were a state that you cannot do that to. I didn't know we were
the only state in the lower 48 where you cannot have alcohol shipped to your
Another
doorstep.
good reason why religion and politics don't mix.
Yes. And we have so many fucked up little laws about our liquor, like the whole Zion curtain thing.
Oh.
That's just fucking stupid.
For those that don't know, this is what the Zion curtain is. Bars have to have an 8-foot wall.
Well, you just can't. It has any mixing or pouring of the drinks.
It has to be out of sight from the patrons.
If it's in a restaurant, if it's a restaurant that has a bar, you have to have the Zion curtain. You can be in a bar and like if it's just a bar, it doesn't have to have the Zion curtain. But if it's a restaurant, they have to have the Zion curtain.
So if you walk
Because
into
and the legislators' rationale behind this was that unless they had that. Well, of course, it's all about protecting children,
Minors from seeing the evils of alcohol.
If we have minors seeing people mixing and drinking alcohol, it could be enticing because it's colorful and pretty and it looks nice and people are having fun, and we can't have any of that. But his rationale for saying that they had to do it in restaurants was that unless they did it in restaurants, he wouldn't know if he was in a restaurant or a bar.
What? He never stepped foot in a bar. No, he's Mormon.
Well, bars serve food and restaurants serve alcohol. How will I know which one I'm in? I would guess that the Holy Spirit would tell him.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
maybe not.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's like it's like living in the first third of Footloose.
The
Don't dance.
the committee member
Dancing is verboten.
that had that law passed is now out of office. The most conservative guy on the Utah State Alcohol Board is now gone. And when he left office, he said, the only thing I wish I would have done was made it so every restaurant had to have a Zion curtain, not just the new ones.
Yeah, we still got Herbert though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Reyes for.
But so, like, if you go to an Applebee's here in Utah, like, if you're normally going to, like, an Applebee's, they got that bar, like, right in the middle of all Applebee's.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got those bar taps. The ones in Utah are fake.
Fucking, it's all of them. It's TGI Fridays, Applebee's, fucking
Buffalo Wild
Chili's,
Wings.
but yeah, all of them have the central, like any of the sports bars have the central bar in the middle of the place with fucking TVs everywhere, and people go around the bar to get drinks, or the servers get the drinks. It's a central location, so that they
And
don't
all the
fucking walk
bottles
everywhere.
and all the taps at the bar are fake. Because they can't have it out. It can't
Yeah.
be in sight.
Yeah.
So you can have the alcohol taps. You can have the advertisements all out. But you can't physically pull that tap and have beer come out of it.
Well, and it's like at Twigs, it's a martini place. It's a restaurant, but they specialize in a bunch of different martinis and shit, right? So they built one at Station Park in Farmington, and one of their decorative displays is just this glass case with, fucking countless numbers of alcohol bottles.
Yeah.
And you can have those out there, and that's fine because they don't actually contain alcohol.
Right, right.
But if they did,
They're decorative.
I mean, I got decorative bottles around my house.
It's like it's the argument against swearing. Like,
It's a word.
it's a sound I make with my mouth, Well, and Matt, you were talking earlier about getting people upset at the softball game because you said fuck. And I said, well, that's just easy. Tell them that you did say fuck, but you spell it with a PH. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
totally different word. It just sounds the same.
yeah.
It's a sound. It's a fucking sound. Grow the fuck up.
yeah,
man.
grow up.
They have no problem with replacing a swear word with a word like
Fudge.
heck.
Yeah, they mean the same fucking thing.
Yes.
Yep.
When
So
they
what's
say
the
fetch and
difference?
fudge
The exact
and
same
all
thing.
of that stuff, they mean the same goddamn thing. It just sounds
It's
different.
a sound. It's a noise.
And somehow that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's
Well, what about
stupid.
gosh darn? That's got to be about the worst, doesn't it?
Oh, my wagon.
Well, no, I mean, nobody thinks you don't mean goddamn.
Yeah.
No.
That was a double
Well, I
negative.
sure
I should have
don't.
just said everybody knows you mean goddamn. But
Usually, when I want to be kind of funny with stuff, I either say Jesus Louis Dreyfus
yeah,
or Jesus Titty fucking Christ.
I think you've said both of those on the podcast before.
Probably.
Every now and then I'll say,
Pretty funny.
Joseph Smith.
Nice. That's pretty funny. Son of a Brigham Young. That is funny.
I need to say that around a Super Momo.
I there's something about being in Utah County that just makes me love to say fuck out loud.
I
And
love to say fuck all the time.
And every time, and especially at softball games, and I just tell them to fucking shove their CTR rings right through their garments and up their fucking ass.
You know what I love? I love being at work and using mild swears and then just
right.
watching everybody cringe a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then they all start swearing.
Like,
Oh, really?
Even the Mormon guys, yeah.
hey,
like,
okay, it's cool now.
I'll say, yeah, I was working with these people and, trying to get them to do anything is really frustrating. I've been doing this and it's just been a bunch of bullshit. And they all, there's a slight little pause.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then they all giggle a little bit. It is bullshit.
Right.
That's funny.
I'm so liberated. Well, it's that old joke. Why do you always take two Mormons fishing?
So that if you only take one, he'll drink all of your beer.
Right, exactly. That's exactly the.
And I love it when my Mormon friends or Mormon coworkers or whomever will like say a swear around me so that they'll fit in. Like I'm cool. I can use the swears.
Right.
You can't
I
stop
can
it.
use the swears.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a firefighter on a military base. So every once in a while we got to do the dog and pony show. Last week we had to do the dog and pony show for the chaplain.
What's the dog and pony show? Is that anything like the donkey show?
No, a little slightly different.
What does that mean?
Less lube.
Does it have something to do
Go
with
to
Ryan
Tijuana
Gosling?
and ask for the donkey show.
That I know about. Chill out, listeners.
Well, we had to take the commander wanted to see what we do for a job, or the commander wanted to see after the chaplain saw it, so we had to do it multiple times on different days.
It was you guys are firefighters, so what is it that you do?
Well, we got a giant
man.
pit with an aircraft, a mock-up aircraft, and that we can light on fire using liquid propane. So you fill it with liquid propane, you get this huge fireball going. So we took the chaplain out in that, and I was driving the truck that goes for aircraft emergencies.
You took the chaplain out of
So I
the
took
plane
the
that you
chaplain
can
out.
set on fire?
Yes. So we did the full drill, full people bunkered out, going in, putting fire out, doing the whole drill on it and stuff. And I had the chaplain sitting there with me, and my crew chief's like, you sure you want the chaplain sitting with Duffy? His ears are going to light on fire. And I'm like, is that because I'm an atheist? Or is that because I cuss? And I'm like, I'm perfectly civil. So I get up in there and I'm teaching the chaplain how to work the thing. One of the other guys with the truck sits over there and goes, "Hey, Dustin, what the fuck are we doing here? This is fucking bullshit." And the chaplain's like, just kind of giving the eye. And Captain's like, "Oh,
Freedom of speech, motherfucker. You ever hear of it?
I guess Duffy was the only one that's okay to sit up in the seat because he's the only one not cussing." So I was the only one that was very respectful of having the preacher there. But we took him out. It's a truck that holds 1,500 gallons of water in it, and it can literally shoot those 1,500 gallons of water in 1 minute.
That's a lot of shooting of wetness.
Yeah.
It puts out 1,200 gallons per minute.
Wow.
Jeez.
It doesn't seem like that would be hugely effective if it was only 1 minute, unless there's just like this blanket of water that lays down
That's what
and
basically
chokes
what it's
out
doing.
everything.
But the thing is like an aluminum skinned aircraft, it only takes 90 seconds for that fire to burn completely through it, and that aircraft is just now melted.
Yeah.
So after 90 seconds, that thing's toast.
Yeah.
So most
So
of
you
the water
kinda
you can
have to
get
try
on
to
it
get
in
it
the
out,
quickest amount of time to displace that heat.
Well, do you guys use foam?
Yes.
Okay.
Use AFFF foam, air aspirated viscous foam, or whatever else it's called. They used to use protein, which is made out of animal fats. Stuff stank. This stuff we use now.
I'm sure it sits out there and then it starts to fucking rot.
Stuff we use now is just very corrosive.
Oh, yeah?
It eats metal. But
We're going to put out the fire and still melt the plane.
well, I mean, it won't eat
We're
the
going to
plane.
save this metal craft by throwing
like,
acid onto it.
Our metal couplings in our truck, like if you don't clean them out like once a week, and if you waited, like if you didn't touch it for a year, you open that thing up, you'd have chunks of metal falling off.
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to corrode it or to break the metal down. This is something you got to keep up on and clean. And you always got to flush all the foam out.
Somehow that doesn't seem like it's the most ecologically sound thing to be using, though, either.
But fuel doesn't like it. It stays together a lot thicker, and it makes a thicker blanket. So as far as our protection, we're a lot safer being.
Yeah, shut up, hippie. We'll be right back to the godless firefighters. No, I'm just kidding.
Goddamn hippies.
That was interesting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is cool.
They got all eco-friendly on us anyways. We can't burn couches anymore. We can't burn cars anymore.
Probably good.
We can't burn tires anymore.
Yeah, I think that's probably okay.
Fucking spoil all of our fun.
It used to be fun. We can just throw a bunch of tires in the back of a car and light the thing on fire and have a drill. We can't do that anymore. Our fires got all pussified.
Yeah, well,
Like literally, we would have fires going to where people's would have little dolls, little Bart Simpson or little plastic dolls hanging off the back of their helmet, and it would melt. And it had melted plastic over the back of their jackets because we were burning couches, we were burning tires. We had that thing rolling, so it was like, I'm cooking inside my suit right now. Can we put this out finally? I'm done. Now we're only allowed to burn grass. and like 2x4s, and it doesn't get as hot. It's not as. But I mean, in
It's
a real,
gonna be funny in 100 years when your grandkids are like living in an atmosphere of 5 to 7% oxygen because of global warming, and they're gonna be like, "What the
well,
fuck
no,
were
but
they
I mean,
doing?
we didn't do it
Why
all
are
the
they
time.
fucking burning fucking tires for fun."
I mean, I agree. It's not good for the environment. Well, I say we can't do it anymore because it's not good for our health.
Yeah.
Anything all that in after we get all
yeah,
the
I would
suits.
say it's not good for the atmosphere generally.
But in an actual house fire, you're going to have plastics.
yeah,
you're going to
of
have
course.
couches. You're going to have
Of
all
course,
stuff. So
but
that's what we
that's-
used to train. We used to set up an actual living room.
Oh, for
we set up an
training.
actual like living room. Yeah, this is for
Oh.
training. We might do it twice a
You
year.
didn't specify it.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, yeah, no,
that
this
makes
is
it
training.
different.
These
That
are all
does
training
make, that does
fires.
make it a little different.
So where we
Yeah.
used to set up like an actual living room where we put
Did
in.
you think they were just having like?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
every
no,
night?
I was just
no.
picturing them going out and just lighting stacks of
Fuck it, we're
tires on fire.
firefighters. If it gets out of control, we'll put the shit out.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
that's
These
what I
are-
was- we'll test out this new foam we got.
These were training
Just
fires.
let it go. Oh, okay. No, that makes way more
Yeah,
sense.
where we set up a full.
Holy shit! How
set
did I
up a
miss
full-
that boat?
We would set up like a full living room and light it on fire. So it's like
No,
you're
that-
fighting an actual like living room fire
that-
or a bedroom fire. We can't do that anymore.
That's-
We're not allowed to put actual furniture and stuff into
Oh,
the fires
okay.
anymore.
That's totally
And
different.
with the cars, we used to do like extrication where we'd do extrication in the cars. We'd pull the doors off.
yeah.
Then afterwards, we'd light them like not like the same day, but maybe come back next week. We would light the thing on fire and practice doing like a car fire, like going up to it and like, you know.
When you would drive past it, like you'd rip the doors off,
Yeah.
and then it would sit out there for a few days.
A few
and you-
days.
Would you drive past it and just look at it all squinty eyed,
I'm
like,
gonna-
soon I'm gonna burn you?
Wait. Back the short bus up here a minute. Did I really miss something that big, or was it just not?
I think I
specified?
said- I thought I
And
said training.
and he picked up on it, and I just didn't. Or did you?
I thought I said
Oh
sort of
no, I
training.
just I didn't figure
just
they were out there
assuming?
just starting fires willy nilly every day
No,
or anything.
That would be illegal.
Okay, well,
yeah.
all right. So, once again, I'm a fucking moron.
It's all right. I mean, common sense goes very short with you. No, that's mean. I apologize. That was below the belt. That's a completely inaccurate
bit of a dig.
statement.
No. I'm willing to accept if it's an accurate. I might be naive on some things, sure, but
Okay.
I've brought up a point or two.
Sure. Absolutely.
Wow, that got heavy as fuck. Holy
I only
shit!
thought heavy. I thought it was funny.
I just got real as shit in here.
I was trying to think, what can I say that won't be condescending?
and you didn't say
well,
anything.
I'm kind of a dick. I'm kind of a dick sometimes.
Well, so from next week and the foreseeable future, the Godless Rebelution will continue without me. 'Cause I'm no longer necessary.
Oh no.
You know we love you, Matt, just like a little sister.
Yeah. Can I be Asian?
If you are good at math, that was racist. I'm
God
sorry.
damn it. No, I don't know if that was racist. I think that's one of the better ones.
I know a few Asian buddies that are horrible at math.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I passed college
And-
math. I sat next to an Asian kid. That sounded racist. That felt racist.
That looked racist.
Made me squirm
Yeah.
in my seat a little bit.
Did it?
Just a little bit.
Do you guys know Mark Normand, the comedian? Norman with a D. Normand?
I know Norman McDonald.
Nope,
Yeah,
not
I
him.
know
Mark Normand.
Mark Normand, huh?
I'm gonna bring up Pete Holmes again, but on the You Made It Weird podcast, it's called You Made It Weird. Have you heard it?
No, I think
I've mentioned it a couple times. Yeah, well, it's called You Made It Weird because he always talks about sex and God.
Mm.
And
He made it weird when he was looking at me in the mirror.
Yeah,
Jesus watches you while you
but but he had a live podcast with like a couple of different people on there. But Mark Normand has a joke about races, which is kind of funny. But it reminded me of this. So he had this live podcast, and there was like this super fucking annoying guy on there. I won't mention his name, but this comedian on there was like, and so they got to the end of it, and then Pete was like, so is there a God or whatever? And he's like, and this guy's like, yeah, well, I think there's I think there's got to be something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and I just fucking hate all these atheist guys, like Bill Maher and blah, blah, blah. And I just hope there is a God so that he can like send them to hell and all. And I'm just thinking, that's your whole reason for wanting, you know what I mean? And he goes on and on and
The
on.
reason you want to believe in a supernatural deity is
so that he
they
can send
exact
somebody
revenge
yeah,
on people.
Yeah. And so he goes on and
You're
on.
a fucking asshole.
Yeah. So he goes on like this, and then Pete gets over to Mark Normand, and he's like, "What about you, Mark? Is there a God?" Nope, big atheist. What am I, a fucking idiot? It was fucking perfect. It was so perfect. It was fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
Just right after this big old rant about all this bullshit nonsense.
No, what am I, a fucking idiot?
Yeah, nope, big atheist. What am I, a fucking idiot?
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking hilarious.
I would have loved to have been sitting in the room.
Yes.
Just looking at the stairs.
He got a big
that.
cheer, dude. Yeah, the crowd loved it. Yeah, no, it was great. Oh, the guy's funny as shit, man. You should check him out. Mark Normand is great, and he's from New Orleans, which is pretty odd.
Oh,
being
yeah?
from down there and being an atheist. But yeah, he was on Last Comic Standing. You've ever watched that?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
He had a little bit where like he used to work as a janitor in a school or something or somewhere, but he was like mopping up the floor, and then the guy comes by and he's like, "Hey, the floor's wet. You didn't put out your little sign." You know, and Mark's like, "Yeah, you know that guy that's on the sign that's like doing the mopping thing? Yeah, that's fucking me. That's me on
That's
the sign.
what I'm
That's your
doing."
fucking sign. That's I'm doing that right now. That's your sign."
Yeah, people are.
God, don't be a fucking moron.
The other sign I don't get is the kid in the bucket. You ever look at a 5-gallon pail? It's got a picture of a kid
with the toddler being
going
all
head
top
first
heavy
into it.
the bucket. Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
no
really?
shit, I ain't gonna put a fucking kid in the bucket.
No, dude, you never.
I know, I'm making a joke.
You just saw some random kid. Hey, kid, you want to go swimming?
Hey, kid, I have a very small pool for you to come and try out.
Maybe my comedy didn't go
that
so well
voice?
there.
That's a new voice for Dan. Hey, kid,
Sound like Orthodox
I have
Russian.
a small pool for you to
Hey,
check
kid,
out.
come here. I have a very small pool for you to try out in my bucket.
You must go in head first.
I don't know.
Nice.
I didn't tell you guys. Somebody broke into my fucking car in my driveway the other day.
What?
No shit.
Yeah. Fucking,
And you just moved here.
yeah. It was not last night. Not last night, but the night before. Some motherfucker got into my car. Yeah, I went to get in my car to go do the thing. What was I? Fucking taking keys back to the old house or whatever. And I go out to get in my car and I open up the driver's door and it wasn't locked, first of all. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, Tracy left my door unlocked. She drove the last little bit home from Moab because I think I fell asleep, like, with my eyes open behind the wheel. Like,
Oh, I've done that. Like Rummel like
dude, I fucking fell asleep. Shit, it's been almost 20 years ago. But I used to work at this fucking hazardous materials incineration plant out in the middle of fucking West Desert.
I know where that's at.
Aptus was the name of it. But we would, you know, we'd do a park and ride, so we'd all drive to a parking lot, get on a bus, and they'd fucking bus us out to work. And this was back in the days before computers were super prevalent. And so I was the dude who sat at a desk and wrote down, you know, truck A brought in 15,000 pounds of whatever material, and they incinerated it for X number of hours, and this was what was left over, and it's going to this place. And so just tracking all of this hazardous material that comes in that we've burned, and then what's left over and where it's going. And, you know, fuck, I was 20 years old at the time and partying with my friends all the time, and stayed out too late one night. I think on a Wednesday we went to fucking the Bay or some fucking dance club in Salt Lake. Stayed out way too late. Ended up waking up too late, like just barely dozed off for maybe half hour. Hopped in my car, drove to the park and ride, pulled into the lot just in time to see the bus leaving. And I was like, fuck.
Late for work.
Now I have to drive myself to work. So I drove out to work, fucking zombie tired all day long. And then I can remember leaving work. And I remember walking out the door. And then I remember standing next to my car. And then I remember being on the road and like just kind of zoning out. So I rolled down the window and cranked up the stereo, got feeling a little bit better, set my cruise control at 85 because it's fucking, you know, I-80.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing out there,
It's
just a fucking straight
desert.
shot. And then the next memory I had was that I was in the left-hand lane and I almost rear-ended this car in front of me because they wouldn't get out of the way and I was fucking half asleep. So I slammed on the brakes before I rear-ended them. Excuse me. And then The next memory I had was that I was staring down the road, and ahead of me, I saw a flatbed semi-tractor trailer pull out of the median into the fast lane ahead of me. And so I slam on my brakes, and there's nothing fucking there. Like I had just been dreaming about driving down the road.
Oh, wow.
So again, I roll down the window, crank up the stereo, get feeling better. Window goes up, stereo goes down. The next memory I had was hearing wonk, 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 wonk. Mm-hmm. And I actually had to lift my head up like I was fully asleep. Like I was asleep, head down, behind the wheel, and I hear my tires hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road. Pick my head up just in time to see one of the reflective markers go right down the middle of my car as my car goes off the road into the median. And then I overcorrected and got back onto the road, and my front tires came down, and I ended up doing like 360s across both lanes of traffic on I-80 at 85 miles an hour, and ended up coming around and having the front passenger side of my car take out a giant merging sign from one of the freeway entrances closer to Salt Lake City. And I remember I was sitting perpendicular to the road off the right-hand side of the road, and this giant fucking merging sign was laying next to my car, and I'm laying there, or I'm sitting behind the behind the steering wheel, and all of this white mist starts pouring out of all of the vents in my car, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've fucked up something really bad. Get out of the car, kind of take a little walk around and walk around the front of the car. It was brand new. I had a 1994 Nissan Sentra that I bought brand new off the lot. I'd had it for 3 months. Walk around the front of the car, and, you know, where I'd hit the reflective marker, I was like, oh, that's not too bad. I put a scratch on the bumper, a little bit of
but how's your radiator?
Little bit of a dent on the hood. And then I get around to the passenger side, and it's all just fucking caved in. Like it's like on the rubber for the front passenger tire. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked, you know? So I kind of get down on my haunches. I got my head in my hands, and this older couple had pulled up in their Winnebago off the side of the road. I guess when they saw me hit the sign or whatever. So they'd pulled over, and, you know, the old guy gets out and he comes walking over me. He's like, holy crap, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. And he's like, are you sure? Well, what happened? And I said, I don't know. And he's like, well, did you fall asleep at the wheel? And I said, yeah, I think so. That must have been what happened. He's like, well, I was driving behind you for a little bit, and you just kind of started straying off the side of the road. And then you started spinning, and then you hit that sign. And I was like, yeah, I think I fell asleep. And he's like, but you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, well, okay, as long as you're okay. Holy shit! You should have seen when you hit that goddamn sign. It must have shot 50 feet straight up in the air. I thought it was coming down through the top of your car and was going to impale you. And I was like, fucking cool, man. I wish I would have seen that. So then then I had to, you know, I got out the little bar for the jack.
Yeah.
The little piece of shit fucking jack in the back of the car. And I pried the metal away from my tire. Drove all the way home, and I was still living at home with my dad, and I didn't want him to see what I had done to the car. So in front of my dad's shitty house in fucking Kearns, he had these fucking juniper bushes or whatever in the parking strip. So rather than park in the driveway, I parked in front of the house with the bushes covering, blocking
Nice.
the view of the big fucking dent in my car.
That's funny.
And I did that for like 2 weeks, and finally my dad noticed. He's like, "What the fuck happened to your car?" I fell asleep at the wheel on my way back from work one day.
Did I hit something?
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. So anyway, going back to coming home from Moab and somebody breaking into my car.
Oh yeah, I forgot where the story was going.
So we're driving back from Moab, and I was really, really tired. Like, we'd been out late the night before. I slept like shit all throughout the night. We get up, start driving home, and I'm like dozing behind the wheel, like having to, you know, I'm shaking my head, slapping myself, pinching my leg every now and then. And Tracy's like, you want me to drive? And I'm like, I think I'll be okay. Stop and get gas, get back on the road, start driving again. I'm driving down the middle of the road, and all of a sudden I did that little, like when you're just barely falling asleep, that whole body jerk, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I guess I'd fallen asleep with my eyes open for like half a second. And she's like, you need to pull over. I'm going to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she drove us the rest of the way home. I had to, as soon as we got home, you know, I was supposed to meet the carpet cleaners at the old house in Clearfield. So we drove from Moab to Murray. You know, I jumped in the truck, drove from Murray to Clearfield to meet the carpet cleaners at the old house and, you know, do that whole deal, take a trip to the dump, go back, clean up the garage, all that happy fucking bullshit. Get back home, crash, get up in the next morning and went to go to Costco. And I come out, go to get in my car and it's unlocked. And I was like, oh fuck, man, she forgot to lock the car. So I open up the driver's side door and all of the stuff that I had in a little map pocket, I had a hat and a map and some napkins and, you know, various bullshit in the little map pocket. All of that is on my seat and the glove box is still open and my jockey box is open. And the change that I normally carry in the jockey box for parking or whatever is fucking gone. Nothing else is gone. That's it. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did she leave my car? You know, because she unpacked the car. And I thought, why the fuck would she have just left it like this? So I go in the house and I'm like, did you get into my glove box when you were unpacking the car? No. Did you take anything out of the map pocket? Which side? My side? Driver's side? No. And I'm like, fuck, man, somebody got into my car in the middle of the night in our own fucking driveway at our new house at the end of a cul-de-sac in a nice area.
In a nice neighborhood. That's fucked up, man.
I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's why I live in a slummy neighborhood, because it doesn't get targeted. I got $1 million homes 2 blocks from my house. I get robbed all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, and then it was just like, you know, you feel so violated. And then I thought it could have been worse. I mean, they could have broken a window. They could have, you know, they could have trashed the inside of the car. They could have taken whatever. I'm guessing that
Gosling could have blasted you in the face.
Tyson could have blasted me in the face. I'm guessing that one of my neighbors must have gotten up and been around or whatever and scared him off. But yeah, I was just like, what the fuck, man? Yeah,
hey,
so this weekend,
Ambien.
So this weekend, I will be cleaning all of that shit out of the garage, putting up the shelves, moving it all out, and putting the cars in the garage.
Yeah.
So that's my little story.
Cool story, Dan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, it was good. It was good. It was riveting. I've been on I-80 before.
Have you guys ever fallen asleep at the wheel?
Yes.
Have you?
On the way back to Wisconsin in my Firebird.
I used to have a Firebird. What year?
84.
Ooh, I had a 75.
I had an 84 Firebird. T-tops, all the cool looking stuff.
I didn't have T-tops.
When you're 19 years old, like, yeah, I got a fucking Firebird. It's got a fucking 350 8-cylinder fucking 5-liter engine. This thing does like 150. Yeah.
And gets there in a hurry. And sounds fucking awesome while it's doing it.
Gets 0 gas miles, but it's fucking fast.
Yeah, my 75, I think I got like 12 miles a gallon.
For the 3 other listeners that we have still tuned in, that's a cool car. Everyone like me.
Muscle cars, bro. Come on.
So I'm driving back to Wisconsin, my Pontiac Firebird, and I had done it once with my father where we had done it in 23 hours nonstop. This time, I think it was my first time by myself driving back to Wisconsin. I drove back to Utah from Wisconsin by myself. This is my first time going back again. And I think it was when my grandfather had just passed away. So I was like, my grandfather just died. I went to work. I said, hey, I'm taking emergency leave. My grandfather just passed away. I'm driving back to Wisconsin. Like, I didn't even go. Like, I had a bag packed. Like, I went to work, military uniform and all. I had a bag packed. Today, I'm taking military leave. I'm taking emergency leave. My grandfather just died. And I literally drove to Wisconsin in my whole uniform. Like, I never even got changed.
Wow.
So I'm going down the road, and all of a sudden, I'm in the median doing the 360 thing.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Woo. I'm like, whoa, it's dust. There's dust. There's road. There's dust. There's road. There's dust. There's road. Car shuts off, and I'm like, kind of was like, your adrenaline's going. You're kind of like, it's kind of like, I'm all right. And I'm like, I'm facing the correct direction. I just started the thing back up and kept going.
Yeah.
Got to the nearest like wayside, pulled over, kind of like I just need to like clear my mind for a little bit. Because I think it was more of, I was getting the news that night before that, hey, he had lung cancer. He was pretty bad off already and stuff. So it was getting the call saying, hey, Grandpa's in the hospital. Hey, we don't think he's going to make it through the night. Me calling my first sergeant, everybody saying, hey, my grandfather's in the hospital right now. He's due to pass away any moment. I
got to call the shirt because Grampy's dying.
I'm like, I need to go. I need to get home. And I'm looking up plane tickets. I'm like, dude, as an airman, I'm like, I can't afford an $800 plane ticket tomorrow. I'm like, it's easier for me to spend $200 to drive back home because I cannot afford a plane ticket, to saying, well, come into work and we'll see what we can do for you. And just coming to work, I'm like, hey, I am going home. My grandfather just passed away. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So having a night of not sleeping, going to work, then just taking off straight from work with the backpack with some clothes in it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've nodded off a little bit. I've never had anything that extreme, but I've done two different trips of 26 straight hours. One from Denver to Baltimore, and one from Thief River Falls, Minnesota to Salt Lake. But I nodded off a little bit, but I never had any issues.
Yeah, I think I made the
It's a long fucking ways though, man.
Wisconsin to Utah, or Utah, Wisconsin drive. Made that one about 5 times. I've driven to Texas.
Yeah.
All but one time by myself. And I've only had to issue that one time.
Right.
I have had the rumble strips wake me up. Or like,
I've had that. Yeah. Pull over and get good hour and a half or something, then hit it again. Yeah.
I did have one time I was driving back from Texas where I pulled off right near, I just passed through Moab, and I'm like, dude, I cannot stay awake.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Moab. This was near Monument Valley when I pulled off. On the way there. Yeah, it was the way there. And I pulled off. So I'm like, dude, I need to sleep. And I just kind of went down a dirt road and kind of pulled off into some place where I'm like, okay, nobody can see my car here. This is no sign saying private property. I'm just going to sleep right here. Woke up in the morning to where I was like, I'm in this gorgeous, huge canyon. And I'm like, what the fuck? This place is awesome.
Yeah.
I might not leave.
I'm like, I thought I just pulled over in the middle of the desert to sleep, and here I am in this really cool, red rock fucking canyon. I'm like, this is cool. Where's my camera? But I had to, I got to get to Texas. I'm like, I got a time frame because I had to start school down there.
Well, and that's the whole difference between, the trips I had and, I-80, like yours, Dan. I-80 is just nothing but fucking sagebrush and antelope butts.
That's the whole state of Nebraska.
Well, all the way, but my trip from Denver to Baltimore, when the sun starts to come up, you start to feel a little better, a little more, and then you start to hit that Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington D.C., New York City traffic and shit, and you're just like, this whole fucking metro area is just, and the sun's coming up. So at that point, after 26 hours, you still feel a little bit more awake and alert, what I mean? But when it's just right before dawn and there's no cars and it's just
there's nothing. There's just
that's the
there's
worst,
just
man.
the soothing sound of your engine.
Yeah.
And the little rolling hills bouncing you a little bit every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Rocking you to sleep.
Well, should we hit another game? And
sure.
I got one other
another news item.
One other news item, just to say, what the fuck? News item.
Do we want to go out?
I do that a lot.
Do we want to go out on a WTF or do we want to go out on a game?
Whatever you two choose.
Let's do a game and then a WTF.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Start with Dan.
Dan goes first this time. I already got it.
Is this a Who Said It also?
It is a Who Said It. Yes.
All right.
I got myself.
Ryan got the noodle.
I'm winning.
This one could end in. I didn't plan this one as well as most weeks. This could end in a tie.
Yes.
All right. Here's your quote, Dan. If your word, nope. No, that was last time. All right. Here's your quote, Dan.
Yeah.
If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made of. By the way, did you guys know Lance Armstrong was an atheist?
Yes. I did not know he was an atheist.
I knew that.
All right.
And he cheated.
Three clues, 4 works.
They used they were all proper and were like, 4 time is fleet. Say the quote again.
If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made of.
For time is what life is made of.
Through the hourglass.
These are the days of our lives.
Thank you, Grandma.
My grandma loved to watch Young and the Restless.
Oh yeah.
After fucking shit, what's the show with Bob Barker? Price is Right. She'd watch Price is Right and then Young and the Restless every day.
$1.
I'm gonna have to go with 3 clues.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds a bit older.
Answer it, Dan.
Okay. Clue number 1. Born November 27, 1940.
Ooh, 1940.
Chinatown,
Okay.
San Francisco, California.
If you say Chinatown, China, I'd be like, is it Chinatown, China?
1940
Chinatown.
in Chinatown.
I should have read it in an accent, but I didn't want to sound racist.
Okay.
Spouse, Linda Lee Caldwell.
Okay.
Children, Brandon.
Bruce Lee.
It is Bruce Lee.
I was like, Lee. I said I had the lead and the Bruce. I'm like, you fuck nut.
Be like water.
Well, you got the last one. I'm trying to make them doable now. I mean, nobody's ever. I mean, it's been so hard. I'm trying. You know what I mean? But you got the one that you started on. He got the one he started. So
Yeah.
you guys both challenged each other and got it. So I think that's probably fair enough.
What
Yeah.
a shame that Brandon Lee died while filming.
Dude, I know, man.
He was a badass.
Yeah, he was.
I liked every movie that
Yep.
I've seen him in. I really, really liked him.
Yeah, he
I-
was, man. I liked him too.
I
a
watched
lot.
a movie about that one, and it wasn't like a conspiracy movie, but it was more of trying to explain.
Was it Dragon, the Bruce Lee story?
No, it was trying to explain how he could have, what might have went wrong.
Well, I think they thought it was a blank that had.
Well, no, because they said,
Well, it was still a blank, but
but the guns they used for their blank guns, they said they also would, if you shoot a scene and you have that gun held out and you pull the trigger to show a round,
it still shoots like a wad.
Oh,
well, because it was an actual bullet that hit him. They're saying how the bullet get in the barrel.
Oh, really? There was a bullet? I thought it was just the paper wad.
They're saying that one way they think the bullet might have gotten in the barrels when they had the guy shooting the cut scene where the trigger's being pulled and you see the actual bullets in the cylinder and the barrel rotating. They want to
where
have
they're showing it from the front,
From the front,
and you can see the
bullets in it. They think when they shot that scene prior that they didn't clear the gun because they would just have a blank in it.
right.
So when it would go, it would push the bullet maybe a half inch into the barrel. Like it won't actually, the primer doesn't have enough power to actually push it out, but it's got enough power to pop the bullet out of the casing.
Right.
And you're supposed to clear it. So what they're saying is they think that possibly the guy that was in charge of clearing the gun and checking it didn't clear it and didn't check it. So when it came to a scene where someone else was using that same gun and this firing the blanks, the blank charge was enough to force that bullet the rest of the way out of the barrel and strike him.
God, how bad do you feel if
How
you're
much
that
of an
guy?
asshole would you feel like? Yeah.
For not doing
I mean,
your job.
both that guy and the actor that pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then they continue the movie.
Jesus.
So I don't know. There's some of those scenes where you got a ton of people shooting guns. It might be hard to know, okay, which gun, who actually.
Yeah, but
they actually they trace it back to a revolver. I think. Is what they did. They said, well, this is the gun that actually did come from. So
well,
that
I mean,
star
but
knew.
still, it's just. Yeah, it's too bad, man. Brandon was a badass for sure.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, the Crow was good.
So I'm gonna have one more beer here, Matt.
Alrighty, we
That's your cue.
Yeah, you want?
That's your cue to give me a beer, Matt.
No, I got it. I just wanted. Do you want? What do you want? Do you want?
I'll take whatever's in
Do you want an IPA
Sure.
or one of the squatters?
I threw
I'll take a squatters.
They're all squatters. I threw all.
Well, I meant
Oh, right. You mean the Moab or the?
Yeah, Moab Brewery, excellent IPA.
I got you. Yes.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on children that are homeschooled?
Ooh, there's
Just
a lot
a-
of.
just a quick-
There's a lot of variables there.
I think it can be done well. I think it can be done very.
I would say generally I'm against it.
What about the Duggars?
Again,
I'm definitely against it.
fuck the Duggars.
I know. Fuck them, because they had a "what the fuck are you saying" moment.
Although I'm not a big fan of public schools either. They,
Well,
That could be a whole
I'm
nother-
not-
Yeah. No, I know.
But-
There's so many variables here. Right? That's just if you want to ask point blank, homeschool or no.
would
I'm
say
gonna say generally no.
I would say I'm definitely a fan of public schooling in general. Like the idea of it, I think it's poorly
If it's done
in a lot of
correctly,
places.
yeah. And for all the taxes we pay, it should be done much better than it is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I remember in 6th grade being 12, trying to teach my teacher who was about to retire that pyramids have 4 sides.
We should be spending much
And
more
not
on our
3.
public schools than we do on
Wars?
our bombing raids. Right.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, or on our police forces.
When you figure that one fucking missile costs more than the budget for a state's school, like all of their fucking schools,
one of those
that's
missiles
wrong.
costs more than my home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
All right.
fucking wrong. Anyway.
So, anyways, you
What
got
do you have on the Duggars that will undoubtedly disagree with?
You got a 21-year-old Jessa Duggar who recently went and visited the Holocaust Museum again. These were her words. Very sobering. millions of innocent denied the basic and fundamental of all rights, their rights to life. I agree with that. One human destroying the life of another, deemed them less human. Racism, stemming from the evolutionary idea that man came from something less human, that some groups are more evolved or less evolved, denying that our creator God made us human from beginning, all of one blood, one race, descending of Adam, the belief that some human beings are not fit to live.
You know, I can almost get behind her on that.
But her thing is well, the big thing is saying that
she's blaming evolution. Which is a misguided target.
Which is where I say homeschooling fails on this one.
That's a very tricky quote you just said, because on the you're almost pitting the Christian God against Hitler, and it's almost like which side do you want? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean Hitler was all about eugenics, which is, you know, he had a view
Catholic,
where
so
right. Yeah, but I mean, he had a view based on genetic information, and you could certainly, you know, tangentially extrapolate that to being tied to evolution. That, you know, there was a master race, but
I think we go
race.
to the misconception of evolution, with which is saying people are more evolved or less evolved. I'm like, there's no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Evolutionary. We all have certain evolutionary traits.
You know, and to say that people would be more evolved or less evolved reeks of fucking racism, right?
Yes.
Because we're all Africans, right?
Exactly.
Well, in fact, white people are an adaptation of black people
Right.
who were original. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that just fucking reeks of racism.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to do the genealogical test that Discovery, I think, I was putting it out. I watched the whole documentary on when they were going around doing it. They're doing it like New York and a lot of major cities. But the kit's like $200.
It's a little pricey.
Just for you they send it to you. You swab your mouth. You put it in the thing. You send it back. But what the test does is it basically gives you where you came from. What's so funny about
I'm sorry. I was thinking about trolling. I'm like doing it to my dog and sending it back in.
Your dog came. Holy shit! Where
like see what kind of results they would actually send back? Like check it. Like okay,
because
you're legit.
I'm pretty sure they'd know.
I can't remember exactly how it went, what the actual like letters were, but there's like
Probably
there's
come
like
back non-human.
Let's just go like there's like an A, B, a C, and like let's say J. Just over there further. If you had the J code in your DNA, you had like the original DNA code saying that you are a direct descendant from someone that came from
Adam.
The Adam of Africa. The well, basically that's what they would consider.
Yeah,
is the
I know.
Original,
I hate that they use those kind of words, but
because it's it's basically going back to where there were no other population on Earth. Humans were almost decimated. Where you're down to like 100 human beings left. And that colony in Africa was all that was left.
I think it was like,
and
3,
they had
000.
like it wasn't a lot. It was near extinction.
Like 3,000,
yeah.
And they carried that J code. Well, depending on where you went, if you were part of the group that migrated toward Asia, if you're part of the group that migrated towards Europe or Russia, it split off into an A, B, C, and D code. And it finds that most people, that followed the landmass to Asia, they're ones that they're going through it all saying, if you went there, it's a hotter climate. You didn't need body hair was a waste. Like you didn't need it. So that's why you see like a lot of Asians don't have body hair.
Body hair was lost before that mostly.
Well, a lot of it, but still, if you notice, like most Asian people can't grow facial hair. They don't really grow arm hair.
Yeah. No,
it's
I know
adaptation
what you
from
mean.
that migration. Or if you have someone that added or moved to Northern Europe, it's like they lost the black pigment in their skin because it wasn't needed. It was they were in the sun. They were out of the sunlight. The what is it? D.
Vitamin D. Yeah,
Vitamin D was less because you're in more darkness. You're hiding a lot. And the brows got bigger because you're more light. You're
more light, more rain,
and it was protecting your eyes. And it's all these adaptations. Like, well, once you go through it all and kind of explain why someone that's Norwegian has these body features, where someone that's Russian might have these, or someone who's Asian has these. I'm like, it makes sense. They're all evolutionary adaptations that happened over hundreds of thousands of years through migration and travel. But here in the United States, our major migration was what, 300 years ago, if that, 200 years ago.
I don't think it's that clear cut. I mean, like Native Americans
have distinct features.
Clearly from North Asia.
Yes, but they have distinct features.
Right, not from Jerusalem in 600 BC on Lehi's
like
shit.
the Mormons thing. But I'm just saying the majority of people that live in the United States.
No, they're Asian.
You don't see it because we're all different. We're all from different ethnicities.
Yeah, sure. Well,
we all have different facial features, different.
Yeah, but there was multiple mass migrations to the U.S.
I was just thinking the big one, almost Civil War era, or
before that. I think you're thinking just after Columbus?
No, I'm thinking way after that. I'm thinking after the colonial stuff. Like I'm thinking once we were the Americas, where people were
okay. You're talking about Ellis Island
type, where you had literally boats coming with tens of thousands of people into this country.
You had massive immigration from Ireland, England, Germany.
Those are more of
you have Jews, Poles, Russians,
Italians. But I always consider those were immigrations in the hundreds.
Thousands.
Well, and the other part of this, so her statement reeks of racism.
Yes. Oh yeah, back to that. Duggar, holy shit, I forgot all about it.
Yeah, that you would be more evolved, as if
Jew is less evolved.
Well, and the problem that I see with that is that it's a misconception to say that if you are more evolved, somehow that's better. It doesn't mean that you're better.
Correct.
You're different.
Correct.
You're different. You have adapted to different climates.
I don't even know what that means.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what more evolved means.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure in her mind it's that we are more evolved. We're more departed from our ape ancestors.
Well, how can she hold both of those views, Adam and Eve and evolution?
You can't.
And then also
no, she was saying the belief in evolution is what caused them to kill these people.
Yeah. So it's based on
having that belief.
So it's based on a misconception of evolution anyway. Not only what you were saying, but also that there's a pinnacle to achieve at some point, and people who are higher up on that mountain are better than
as if,
who are
and that's what
how do you even judge that?
That's what I hear a lot of the time.
That doesn't even make sense.
Who are religious is that as if evolution is that we're working towards some goal,
right?
And we're not. That's not how it fucking works.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
No, it's the way our body adapts to the environment around us to better fit that environment.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and in a lot of cases, over a certain amount of time, it just doesn't or can't anymore.
And if you want to go with an evolutionary, this is complete bullshit right here. Some of it's bullshit, but it's bullshit. Being more evolved, we have one extra chromosome than the chimpanzee, the ape. A person with Down syndrome has one more chromosome.
Wait.
Than us.
Is that right?
Yes, there is a chromosome that's found that we have that splits. Our one chromosome that's off from a chimpanzee is one that we had it's split.
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought chimps had one more than we do. I thought ours fused.
I thought it was the other way around.
I don't know for sure.
I thought we had one. They
abstaining.
Have one less chromosomes that are different.
Yeah, I thought humans had fused and chimps had one more.
So I always did the joke where chimpanzees got one less.
I could be wrong.
With Down syndrome has one more, so people with Down syndrome are actually more evolved than us.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't. Okay, we'll go with that because I don't know for sure. I thought there was a fusion that happened at some point, but okay.
That wasn't very politically correct me to say people.
No, it was fine.
But
it was fine. It could have been worse if you'd gone the other way.
But it could also show the finite differences between what one chromosome can do.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have one less chromosome, if you have all the same chromosomes but they're formed differently, you basically have a chimpanzee. Not that anybody can give birth. A human can give birth to a chimpanzee. But if you take one of our chromosomes, I don't know which one it is, and you split it so you got an extra one, you have Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. That's all it is one chromosome different. Mm-hmm. And not that there is a learning difference. They have certain features about them that are distinct at being someone with Down syndrome.
Well, there's also physical differences.
Yeah, physical. The way they... Mm-hmm. The cognitive differences. There's certain people with Down syndrome that are perfectly able to realize what's going on and live a normal life. And there's some people that have Down syndrome that can't live a perfectly normal life that we could live.
There's a spectrum, yeah. But what's What were we talking about?
Well, I was saying,
Where are we going with this?
I was going with,
Where are we going with
the
that?
fact that she was saying that less evolved or more evolved.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck a Duggar.
Yeah. I
Fuck
think
a Duggar, that's a T-shirt.
Fuck a Duggar.
Fuck a Duggar.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That has dual meanings.
It does, yeah.
I was going to say, we have, 23 chromosomes? Is it 23? Or 24?
23 pairs, yeah.
23 pairs of chromosomes. Mm-hmm. One of those pairs we share with every living creature on Earth.
Yeah. One of them, yeah.
The chromosome that basically does the the sugar chromosome does.
Well, so we're like 46% identical with like broccoli.
Is it that much?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember going through like when they're going through like a tree.
Delicious broccoli.
Because every living organism has the ability to break down sugars into energy. That's the one chromosome I thought we share with everything. Was it sugars or was it proteins?
God, I don't know. It's got to be. It can't be protein.
I thought it was, for some reason I thought it was sugars.
It's got to be, right? I mean, because like I don't know. I'm trying to think through this as we're going. I don't have it written down in notes. Nothing that I say is for sure. I'm just
we're going off our brain knowledge right now.
It can't be protein though, because obviously plants don't.
Well, we have protein. Our DNA is made of protein.
Yeah, but plants don't eat meat.
No,
but they do make sunlight into sugar.
Yes,
so it's got to be sugar
through photosynthesis and their chloroform.
So it's got to be sugar.
That's what I think. Dan's looking it up right now. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was the one chromosome we shared with everything.
I'm actually not. I'm sorry.
Breakdown.
I was looking to see if
sugar.
I'm sorry. I was checking to see if work had contacted me.
Fucking Vikings anyway.
Fucking.
But yeah. Anyway, that's just based on a huge misconception of evolution, as most people have anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, her sentiment about treating people that way is, I mean, it's correct. You should not. Everyone does have the right to live, to happiness until you fuck up. Hitler fucked up. He didn't deserve the right no more.
Sure. Okay. But like, I guess my point would be, I don't care if you get it from a fucking religious book or a science book, who fucking cares? Who cares what color you are or what your hair looks like or what your eye color is or what, like who fucking cares?
The only time I care is when you.
I think it's more than fascinating to know where all the genealogy, where the lines, and where all the people come from, the migrations,
what we share with everything.
All of that's fine, But about treatment, fucking the same. Who cares? It's all the fucking same. So I don't know. I just think there's a lot of issues with that. That whole quote bothered me right from the beginning.
Oh yeah,
it was
she's obviously fucking ignorant.
And how old is she anyway?
21.
Okay, well, all right.
I think I wonder if she was the one that just got married in the Duggars. That was all over the news. That was not allowed to have like any physical contact with her husband until wedding night, which I've heard that traumatizes the fuck out of some people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's.
Well, they have no idea what to expect, no idea what to do, no experience whatsoever.
It's so stupid.
That's what
I don't know about you guys, but I fucking try on my shoes before I buy them.
Yeah.
Well,
unless it's on like Amazon, then it's a guess. But that'd be like a mail order.
Not that I'm fucking equating women to shoes or anything like that. I'm just saying, you should.
Oh yeah, I guess that could have sounded bad.
Know if you fit.
Yeah, you need to know if you are sexually compatible with the person you're going to choose to live the rest of your life with.
All right, so here's what you do with that then. The ladies try on their shoes as well.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I mean,
should not be shamed for doing
exactly. So it's not a misogynistic thing. It's just that's what human adults should be doing.
Yes,
and what every other animal in the animal kingdom does.
Well, yeah.
And we are animals, and saying that we are animals is not something like putting us to a lower standard. It's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't remember. I'm trying to think of the quote where someone said, like, we're nothing but monkeys with shoes or something.
Shaved monkeys in clothes.
Is that what it was? Shaved monkeys in clothes?
That's kind of how I've always thought about it.
I want to say it's a quote that Ricky Gervais.
Except me, like I'm pretty fucking hairy.
I want to say Ricky Gervais said it, where it's like we're nothing more than monkeys with shoes, or monkeys in suits, or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I'm like, he's true. It's right. We're nothing but primates that wear fucking clothes.
Walk upright.
I prefer ape.
Ape.
I like to think of ape. Rather
We're
than
nothing more than an ape that has a more advanced brain because we ate more proteins. We took in more foods. Our brains grew. Our cranial cavity expanded. We grew a medulla oblongata or whatever part of the brains they don't have. But at the same thing, we lost stuff. Primates are able to use 100% of their strength 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's chemical though. But yeah.
But where we are, I can't remember what it was. It's a dramatically lower number for the amount of energy we're allowed to output compared to what we have stored.
I'm not sure they use 100%. Like when,
but they are able, like
some of the higher primates, but they still use a way. Well,
that's why
percentage.
You can have a chimpanzee that looks scrawny as shit beat the
kick the fuck
out of you because he can use way more of the potential energy he has stored in his muscles.
Well, yeah,
versus what you have stored in your muscles. Our bodies hold back.
Yeah, well, I think they've determined. I think they've determined that there's a certain amount of adrenaline and testosterone and those kind of chemicals that are running through. So they're on an adrenaline high all the time.
Yeah,
like there's no switch to kind of say.
That's why they're always humping
this might
everything.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, but.
What's my excuse?
You're on
it. Don't leave your empty beer bottles around too long.
No, I can't remember. That's
why I can't grow a beard, and I broke the Kinsey scale. It doesn't know what my testosterone is.
I was reading something on it. It was kind of going back to the reason why sometimes when you have a car that will flip over onto a person, and you get a person or a group of people, like if you have a car roll over on, say, like a kid.
Oh, I know.
An adult is able to lift that car and give that one big huge burst of energy.
Usually a mother. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what like a chimpanzee can do all the time. Give that burst of energy whenever it wants. Where with us, it takes something like I can't.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're thinking. Yeah,
I can't just consciously release all the energy in my muscles at once and force a car to flip over. Where a chimpanzee can go, "Oh, you want me to do this? Okay, I did it." Mm-hmm. Where they don't have that blocker in their brain that says, "Hold back, you're gonna fucking hurt yourself."
Yeah, but we also don't throw poo balls at each other, so...
Well, I beg different on that one.
Okay, well, I don't work at the fire department, so...
sounds like Ryan has some friends who might be doing that. In the bathroom. Poo throw for poo throw, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go poo throw for poo throw.
First one to quit. Loses.
Got it up my nose, I'm out. Was that it?
I don't have anything else tonight. I mean, we talked about poo.
Yeah.
And
we covered the crucials. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about poo and about blasting people in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Face blasters.
Gosling over Tyson any day. Yeah.
We covered the Monkees, the band as well. If you missed that, go back and listen to this again.
We don't usually get into evolution too much. I kind of like it.
No, we don't. Maybe we should do a whole show on evolution. And
let's
the
do that
science behind it. Should we do evolution next week?
Let's do next week.
Okay.
We'll do evolution.
Okay.
Next week we'll do a show talking about evolution and the science behind evolution. I mean, not that we're all experts, but I think
we
all
can talk about the misconceptions, the false assumptions, all of the bad religious teachings surrounding evolution, and the actual science behind it.
So that's what we're going to go over next week. We're going to talk about evolution, and it's going to be fucking fantastic.
So do it.
We're going to do it.
Ready, break.
All right, till next time, I'm the wonderful spaghetti-winning wizard, Ryan Duffy.
You and Dan tied with one noodle each.
Fuck you.
All right.
We'll chalk that up as a win.
Till next week, revolutionaries.
Thank you very much for listening in, for tuning in and listening to us. There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Way to finish strong, Dan. Nice.
Fuck you, man.